Bored NASCAR fan Sunday vlog number 8, and I promise you this is the last video I'm posting tonight. Not too many's watching them anyway, and I decided to do this one as number 8. I'd put it on my list of vlogs I wanted to do, and it has to do with Dale Earnhardt Jr, whose first Winston Cup number, when he started it was Winston Cup, was 8. Of course, his late grandfather's number was 8 over the years before he was born even. And Dale Earnhardt, the Big E, ran the number 8 on short tracks and on his late model sportsman cars, which we now know as Nationwide, early in his career. Dale Earnhardt Jr., and I want to talk about the remarks he made after Talladega before he knew he had a concussion and would be sitting out 2 races. He would find another job if he had to race like that every week. I can understand that. It's frustration. It's the same frustration Tony Stewart had at the first Talladega race when he made the crack about spending $150,000, turn it into a figure-8 race, and run halfway one way, halfway the other way, and have half the cars go one way, half the cars go backwards. It's pure frustration. And yes, I'm a Junior fan. That's a disclaimer. I'm also from Indiana, and I like Tony Stewart. And Talladega, and Daytona for that matter, restrictor plate racing is crazy. I have seen saner, serious figure-8 racing. Yeah, that's what I said. In fact, the Indianapolis Speedrome invited Tony Stewart and Ryan Newman to come up there and run figure-8 in their late model figure-8 cars. They put it out on their email blast. But getting back to Dale Jr.'s remarks, when the TV people stick a microphone in them drivers' races after they've been in a wreck like that, they're rattled. Even though he had been checked and released from the care center, they're still rattled. They have to be. You run along, and all of a sudden, coming out within a mile or so of the finish line, you're in a 25-car wreck. Tony Stewart took the blame. I frankly thought most of the blame should have went on Michael Waltrip, but Tony took the blame. But I mean, Waltrip should have known he was going to block. That's my opinion on the blame. But I want to talk about Dale Jr. electing on his own to go to the doctor and sit out 2 races with a concussion. Now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was cleared at the infield care center at Talladega. He could have said absolutely nothing and reported to the next race at Charlotte. And this had to be a tough decision to go ahead and go to Dr. Petty there in the Charlotte area, who is renowned for working with NASCAR drivers. I don't know if he's in relation to Richard Petty, by the way. I don't think he is. But, and the tough part about sitting out Charlotte, plus he not only sitting out Charlotte, but pretty much knowing he was going to finish 12th in points, not be on the stage at the banquet in Las Vegas, except for Most Popular Driver Award, of course. But sitting out Charlotte, it's his home race, and not just adopted home race. He's from the Kannapolis area. When I pulled out of Charlotte Motor Speedway one night, almost immediately upon pulling out, there was a sign, Kannapolis 8 miles. And again, disclaimer, I'm a Junior fan, but he did the right thing sitting out. I've read on the internet, some of the racing writers said he should have reported it after the testing crash at Kansas. But I think this was more, as far as I know, I've never had a concussion. I've been hit on the head a few times. I've never been knocked out, as far as I know. I've never been treated for a concussion, so I don't know the treatment. I've been checked for one when I fell one time, but I didn't have one. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. did the right thing. Jeff Gordon said he didn't know if he would have told. So, makes you wonder. What would a driver do if they were leading the points and got in a wreck at the Talladega Chase race? That's a good question. But my question is, do you think most drivers would admit they had a concussion and go to the doctor during the week and possibly have to sit out some races in the middle of a points battle. This is Bored NASCAR Fan, vlog number 8, final vlog for Bored NASCAR Fan Sunday is now over.